The best of the morning X.
99X.
You know, I told you that story about how last week when I was at the theater and I went to a cafe near the Fox Theater, and for the first time in my life, I actually left a waiter a 1 penny tip.
Right.
Okay? Dude was completely rude. I mean, like, the rudest I have ever seen. Talked back to me, made comments made real jerkish remarks. I mean, he
was a restaurant version of you.
He actually,
Sorry, that was
no.
funny.
This guy was really a jerk.
Well, so did he write you a letter?
In fact, a penny was way too much.
Okay, what's your point?
Anyhow, so, you know, I love how waiters and waitresses will always stick up for each other. They will never once take any responsibility and maybe admit that it is possible that there are rude waiters. It's always the customer's fault.
They all band together.
What's this chick's name? Cynthia Caberline.
Cynthia.
Okay. She says maybe you need to take the time to see another side of the story.
Maybe.
Okay.
He was busy.
Well,
He had a busy
first
section.
of all, Jimmy said that his date was already seated when she asked the server, which is the politically correct term that has replaced waitress and waiter.
Whatever.
Hey, you know what? You're a waiter or you're a waitress. It's all there is to it. For water without ice. Well, we already have two problems here. One, the entire party was not sat at the same time. Big deal. She was still ordering the food. She wasn't like just sitting there, reading a paper. And two, did she bother to say hello before placing a special order for a free beverage? My point, servers make $2 before taxes and tips. Their tables are where they do their selling. Instead of having 4 high rollers, they get a lady waiting for her man, and while she waits, she purchases nothing and complains that the water has ice. Time and check averages are everything to a server.
So anyone that comes in that's not a big high roller, you're supposed to just spit on them?
Thank you. Exactly, Barnes.
Get out of my table. Need a high roller.
Yeah, exactly. Solution, wait in the bar for your other party and splurge on a nice bottled water, a Pellegrino or a Perrier.
All to make you happy.
Say hello to your server before requesting things. They're people just trying to make a living. They are not lower-class citizens.
We didn't say
We
they
didn't
were.
say they were, okay? Next, Jimmy arrives and they split a salad and a sandwich. Please.
Oh, you're cutting into their profits again, JB.
The bill was $15 for dinner? Okay, even if the server did everything perfect and held back on the attitude, 20% of your big $15 check is still only $3. Honestly, the server should focus on the guests who are actually there spending money, as I'm sure he has bills to pay and children to feed.
What is this woman?
If he couldn't get there to collect the money for your pathetic dinner check, he was probably servicing someone with money. You see, it's the big spenders, not the DJs, that get preferential treatment.
You're in a bad mood this morning anyway, so this letter sort of...
Yeah. You don't want to know why. First of all, it was a little cafe where most people just go in for dessert, so it wasn't even... like a $15 check at this particular place was a decent check.
Jimmy, she's judging you.
Okay. Solution, when you go out, spend some cash. If to eat light, splurge on a bottle of wine. At least try to impress your date. She was a friend, she wasn't a date.
Now she's trying to
get you laid.
Give you some dating tips.
Lastly, leaving a penny. Did your order come out right? Did he bring you everything you needed?
Man.
Honestly, was the service bad or just his attitude? Like, service and attitude are mutually exclusive. Like, it's okay to have a bad attitude as long as the food comes out hot.
No.
Okay, so...
Did she leave a phone number?
I'm going to check here to see. People like you, Jimmy, and your date are rude and should eat at home because you do not know restaurant etiquette.
Ooh.
Solution? Go back to the restaurant and apologize. Bring some money with you, or keep your non-tipping ass out of restaurants.
Man, where does she work? I would love to know.
Oh, she did leave her phone number.
She did? Let's call her. This is when we talked about this the other day.
Story. I don't think she knows the full story.
Well, she sure acts like she does. She typed out a 5-page letter about it.
My friend Liz, who you both know, who is a very sweet person, when the guy brought her water, just simply said, hey, if you get a chance, can I get some water with no ice? And he snaps back at her, well, why don't you let me put this down first? And when I asked for the check, he said, you'll have to wait while help those people over there in that attitude. I mean, he was a real... And when I asked him what's with the attitude, he turned to the other woman and commented on my rudeness. Anyway, so, should we call her?
Yeah, hell yeah, you should call her.
Man.
She submitted the,
it's like, just because...
It's kind of early to be calling her, don't you?
She worked her way through college as a server. I'm sorry, as a waitress.
What's her name?
Kathleen. Cynthia.
Hello?
Hey, you're on the air. Cynthia in?
Yes?
Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy.
Good morning.
Is this Cynthia?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Cynthia. It's Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi. Hey, listen, we were just talking about your letter about the waiter.
Uh-huh.
This is a bunch of crap.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, but how can you say...
How condescending is this letter for no reason at all?
The implication of your letter is that unless you are spending money, you do not deserve to be treated well.
My statement was that as a server making $2 an hour, you need to focus your time and attention on the people who are actually spending money there. It's just common sense.
Well, this was a little... Explain to her the restaurant situation.
Do you know what restaurant I was at?
No.
Okay.
So you don't know that a $15 check at this particular place was actually a higher
my fault
ticket.
You don't tell the whole story up front. Go ahead.
He did.
I did
No, he
tell
did
the
tell
whole
the
He
story.
said on the air
right.
it was a little cafe. It wasn't like a full-blown restaurant. It was more of a dessert
Of course, you didn't want to hear that part.
bakery-type
Oh,
cafe.
I didn't want to hear it. I choose as a listener what I want to hear. Whatever.
The other thing is, it shouldn't matter if I was at the nicest restaurant in town. The job of the waiter is to treat me with as much respect as the person who is there spending $100.
Basically, he's a freelancer making $2 an hour. It's up to him how he wants to treat you.
If he doesn't want to do it, then he shouldn't take that job.
It's up to him how he should treat you?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know about that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that the manager or owner of that restaurant would support your theory that the waiter should...
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Do you think the average customer would support that theory? Okay.
How can you just, take the people who are high rollers and ignore everybody else, basically, which is what you're saying?
Yeah.
How could I?
Yeah, how can you do that and have a business that's
successful?
successful?
When you make $2 an hour, you have to go where the money is. When I was a person
stupid
serving
reasoning.
through college, I didn't do it for a nonprofit kind of situation.
You can't ignore
I was
the
there
guy.
To make money.
You can't ignore the guy who has a baked potato and
I didn't
ice
ignore
water.
anybody, and I didn't suggest ignoring somebody. I suggested that he was busier with a more profitable situation. I didn't suggest that he ignored you at all. If you happen to take the time to read what I said.
Well, you're also saying here, because you're commenting on me leaving a penny tip, did your order come out right? Did he bring you everything you needed? Honestly, was the service bad or just his attitude? The message there being that they are mutually exclusive and that his attitude should have nothing to do with how much I leave as a tip.
I mean, you're just acting like a king, like the world should bow down and kiss your feet, and how dare they treat you wrong because you're a DJ.
You know what?
You're a person. If you're a jerk, you're a jerk.
You know what? When you're paying at a restaurant or any kind of store, the people there should treat you with respect.
That's it.
Is that
you are not treating them with respect. You cannot expect them to treat you no matter who it is.
I don't think
He
my
wasn't
friend...
being rude.
But the guy started it at him, and he wasn't there as a
Did your friend say hello
DJ.
before she complained about her free drink? Did she even think
She
she
didn't
might use the bottled water over?
She wasn't there to socialize with the waiter. What kind of stupid BS is that?
Dating a big DJ, can't your paycheck afford a bottled water?
Ooh.
He didn't go in there with a
First of
sign
all-
that said, "I'm a DJ, I'm here to eat, kiss my ass." I don't think he went in there with
First
that.
of all, this guy had no idea who I was. Second of all, I wasn't there at the time. Third of all, like Barnes said, she doesn't have to socialize with the waiter. And fourth, she didn't complain. She merely requested a glass of water with no ice.
That's all.
That's all she did. I wasn't even there because, of course, I'm so abrasive and I'm such a jerk. I wasn't even there when he started being rude to my friend.
Jimmy doesn't deal with waiting in the line to get in. He waits till the girl's seated, then he comes in.
I mean, you're making assumptions here that are completely erroneous.
Just like you do every morning, Jimmy. So whatever.
At least you listen every morning.
Yeah, I know.
This is just
a funny thing. And I was telling a friend that you irritate me so much, I'm thinking about switching.
I'm sure you will.
Don't wave
you know
that
what?
at us.
Let me tell you something about you.
I think
You'll
you're
listen every single day. You will listen every single day because you have to listen.
Because
you
Leslie's your saving grace, you
Thank you.
pig.
You have to
Whoa.
listen because you love getting angry at me.
I know my choices.
That's
I am
right.
forced to listen to you, believe me.
Maybe some of your anger over Jimmy may have spilled over in the email, but he was completely innocent on this count. The waiter was being really, maybe having a bad day, but was being really rude.
I'm a freelance writer. I also know how to write to get you to call me.
Yeah, but
So,
you're just
whatever.
writing an email. It's not like I'm reading this out of a paper. I mean, come on. The other thing is, this
Yeah,
is like...
I know. I didn't say that was my freelance writing, you ignoramus.
The other thing is, this is like a typical
You can
case...
insult everybody, and nobody can say to you.
No, you can say whatever you want to me. I don't care.
I'm going back to bed. Goodbye.
Yeah, okay. That is Cynthia Kaberline at Kaberline, Kaberline, at AOL.com. I'm sure she'd like your mail. A little tart. You know,
Yeah.
typical waiter
Why would
sticking up for a situation just because
She doesn't like you, so
I worked
she-
my way through college as a waitress.
We should have got a shout out for wherever she works, because I'm sure you'd be treated like royalty when you arrive.
I'd like to know where she writes.
No, works. I'm talking about as a
Works,
waitress.
right.
Didn't you say she's
No,
a
she
waitress?
worked
used
her way
to.
through
She
college.
used to.
Barnes, couldn't you tell she's a writer now?
I missed that part. She's a writer.
She's a writer now.
A lot of broadcasted emails.
It's like totally...
For
I
once,
can't
I've
win.
got-
I
I've
can't
got-
win.
I got to be on your side for this time, JB.
I mean, it's like...
You
Even
were being-
Leslie, you know, you've been in
But
restaurants
I emailed
with
her
me.
back and I said you're way out of line. That
Did
Jimmy.
you?
No, I forwarded the email to you and I said I think you're missing the point here. This person was completely being rude. Jimmy didn't ask for preferential treatment. He never does. He came in as a customer.
Yeah, if you're telling the story 100% correct, then
Oh no, he's in such a bad mood.
man, you're all fidgety
Jimmy,
over there. Now what?
Jimmy. Oh man,
Mad.
Jimmy, just leave it alone. It's her opinion.
Let him
She
fight.
doesn't like you.
Leslie.
God. He got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, Barnes.
She started it.
I should never have forwarded that.
Hello?
Okay, I never want you listening to this show again. I'm barring you from the Morning X for life, taking away your subscriber's card. You're
Okay.
banned for life.
Oh
There you go.
man,
You feel better?
There you go.
Sure.
A little
Never
wench.
seen you this upset. I have never seen
Well,
you
because
this
I don't
upset.
like, you know, if you got a point,
She
if you
had
got a
none.
problem with me, at least back it up with some factual information. Chick doesn't know anything other than she used to be a waitress. Big deal. I used to be a waitress. Jimmy was probably wrong.
You're listening to the best of the Morning X.
You can also catch it on the Morning X podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Or at 99x.com.